Hey guys, Mr. Koenig here, wanting to go through a little bit more on kind of the big picture of ArcGIS and story maps and going through a little bit more on your assignment. So hopefully you guys can check in and seeing this, but I wanted to start off with, hey, story maps are actually or ArcGIS and story maps are kind of cool. So the first thing I want to do is go through some interesting maps. This map right here and these layers are looking at popular artists, so like Future and where are they most downloaded music from. So look like southeastern United States, Rihanna, 21 Pilots, so kind of popular people and where they're from. Those are cool ArcGIS maps that people can do. So you can use ArcGIS for anything, and I really wanted to kind of make that point clear. I didn't necessarily have a lot of time to go through that in class. Like, this isn't just for science and this isn't just for ecology, but this is a skill that you can use for marketing anywhere in the business world. Someone just contacted me like a couple weeks ago, saying that they got an internship because of their skills that they had with ArcGIS. So making sure that you guys see that it's more than just kind of something that's, you know, trapped in a school assignment. It's a really nice skill to have um, in the business world too. Another kind of interesting map to look at here is like presidential data. So normally you see like, blue versus red states and things like that. But this is a dot for every person that voted. A blue dot is voting, and this is in the 2016 election. So blue dot would be for Clinton, red dot would be for Trump, and then if you layer a blue on top of a red and it turns out to be purple, those kind of cross each other out. So just another kind of interesting thing, and you can tell a story with this now, right? So you can maybe even look at this map, and if you just had a bar graph of 51% Republican, 51 or whatever percent Democrat, it wouldn't necessarily tell the story of where those votes are from, or even like a blue versus red state. But now looking at a layer, you can maybe tell a little bit more what that is. So that's just a couple ideas, and there's so many different layers that you can search for on ArcGIS, and you can find your own stuff, you can enrich your own data, you can become that knowledge producer and that creator of content that we would like you to become here. So that's just kind of getting you kick-started on why, kind of a big picture of why ArcGIS maps are really interesting. I do want to go through your story map assignment though, and kind of touch on a few things. So we got through, and I think you guys understood the oak species and the oak roles in their ecosystem, but a couple folks were having a little bit of issue, like, exactly am I supposed to do with this research and data piece? And yeah, this is where we want you to save um, your map. Okay, so in class we work through, or online, you got to about this point with your map, I would say. Well, actually, you got further than this because we also added um, predation. But it doesn't just have to be predation. Okay, you guys can choose whatever you want to choose for that one. So if you wanted to choose like buckthorn cover or something like that, that was fine too. But I want to make sure that you guys understand a couple things here, and so that we can see your maps well. And that is, you just save it. We did that. But before you hit save, and this is kind of critical, you have to hit the done button, okay? Because that then is going to say you're kind of done playing with it and you're ready to save it. Um, so now it's saving it to your content, and so at first you had to go to like save as, and then save it as you're going through. You can continue to save it, and then key here is the share button. Okay, so we would like the link to this, and we would kind of like to see where you're going. So if you hit the share button, and you can make it to MNSES or everyone, the whole world could see it too. But any one of those. And here is the link. Okay, so if you were to and the cool thing is you can embed that now. If you wanted to, you could embed your link in a website somewhere. You could throw it up on Facebook if you wanted to. But it's kind of cool to see, or kind of cool little feature there. And that's the link that we want when you um, add it in here. Okay, so your research and data, you can add that link, and then you can write about why you think that map was super important. Okay, So that's kind of one thing there. And that would fill in this assignment that's due on Sunday. Most people already kind of knew it. A lot of people had it turned in already. But just that's one thing you can do is add your link to your map so we know that you know how to do it. Now, big picture and stuff that we're going to be looking at for next week is maybe trying to put some of the story map together. And I wanted to just show you a little bit of some cool. Well, this is just one story map. I like Bison. Those people that are in our AP class know that I've already assigned you something with Bison. So this is, a story map on Bison, and kind of go through, and you can see that they have certain layers here. It's good to have that legend, and this is, it's actually fascinating if you want to read a little bit more about this. But the story maps are cool because they allow you to play with or they allow you to put in your ArcGIS maps within the story map. So it's a good feature to have. You can even put this feature. This is like a timeline. I don't really think you'll need a timeline for our oaks, but maybe one day we will, because we have your data now. We have some data from last year. In 20 years, we could actually maybe see if the predation rate has changed or if the amount of acorns has changed. I think that would be really quite interesting. But yeah, so this is just one on Bison. You can kind of see this is the way the world is going. So a lot of even like county parks are doing all their stuff on Story Map, because it's a cool interface that people can look at, and it's telling a story of data, basically, instead of just having a bunch of graphs out there. Now they have a cool kind of interface there. Okay, so that's what a story map looks like in general. And you can make one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in story map. And it's through the same password that you have for ArcGIS. So right here, here's going to be your main kind of place here. You won't probably have many stories. Maybe you will. But probably for many of you, it's your first time. So you'll hit new story. And there's different types of story maps. But really, the one that you just saw on the Bison, and the one that we think we'd like you to do is this kind of like cascading story map. And if I just hit start from scratch, that'll get me there. So one thing, like your cover image or video, you can do like an oak tree or something from your trail cam. I will say trail cam number 10, I wasn't sure. Some of the trail cams I had set to video, and some I did just pictures. Trail cam number 10 I had to video, and it might be kind of cool to pull off a video there. So you could even use a video as kind of your title page here. So looking at that there, now I have this video, and this is from Trail Cam 10. Look at that buck. That's a big deer that we have on campus. But that might be kind of a cool attention grabber, right? So, we could do predation of oaks. Whoopsie. Oh my gosh. Okay. Or something like that to start us off. But that's however you're going to want to title it. You're going to want to give it maybe a little subtitle there of what exactly you're looking at. And you just kind of start playing with it. So you tell your story here, right? So that was my first piece. That's my kind of title. And then when you want to start adding your stuff, I would put like a separator in. So, my introduction, and then I can go kind of back to my story map here, and I could, oak species could maybe be my next part. So, my next kind of subheading here, I could do, and I can make the text any way I want. Come on now. Wait for it here. There we go. So like oak species, I can bold this. I can make this more of like a subheading, and then I can write my, I can write my content below it, and then I could put another separator in there and do the like role of oak in an ecosystem for another kind of subheading. And then what I do want to spend a little bit of time on is when you get to that part of research and data, you're going to want to put your map in there. And so that's where, so if you just add map, it's going to go to your content and it's going to show you your maps. So that's a really cool feature. So once you save your map on ArcGIS, it loads these maps right here in Story Map too. So you can just click it, and that's going to be a part of your story map now. Once you place it in your, and there's, you guys can't really see, but maybe you can. Here, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. There you go. So now you'll place that map. One thing that folks should do though is add like a legend to it, right? Because we don't know what that is at all. But if you add a legend to it, now folks can see, okay, what am I actually looking at here? So they could see what you're talking about there. So, now that you have data and you put data into or saved it as an ArcGIS map, you can save that and then you can add it right into your story map, and that'll make it look even more professional, right? So when that gets placed, looks like that. You can change the way it's kind of configured in there. You know, you can put the text around it, like it says here. You can make it smaller. So there's just different ways to like place that map. Other things, you can embed images. So we want you to embed images. Or if you find another video, you can embed another video. Maybe it's a couple things from the trail cams. Remember, the trail cam pictures are from last week or week 2 stuff, and it's under trail cam, so you can find those pictures online. You can do little like slideshows or like a sidecar on the side. That's a little bit more complicated. I wouldn't spend a lot of time fidgeting with, I don't want you to get too locked in on fidgeting with stuff until you kind of have things done. Now, one thing, and I mentioned this last time, is I remember how I said you got to make sure you always save things on Story Map. I think I'm just playing with this, and I think they now automatically save it. So it is a nice feature here that I think is new. Story Map is always kind of changing things and becoming a little bit more user friendly. And I think now they have a feature that it's just automatically saved. So that's a good thing. Okay, so that's a little bit of kind of an overview of ArcGIS and why it's important. Looking at how to save, and then looking at starting your story map when you're ready to do that. So, if you're worried about getting a start on what the finished product would look like, there it is. Thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Okay, bye.